I'm calling it. We're just doing it. Okay. Can you hold that? I don't know what I was thinking. Grabbing it.
Welcome back to the channel. It is December
6th?
7th.
7th?
Mm-hmm.
We should know what date it is.
5 days till the due date.
Yep, at time of filming.
Yeah.
5 days.
So we are on baby watch.
Which means
hanging out in the cabin.
Yep, taking it easy.
So we thought we'd sit down and just kind of talk about
ourselves, our future,
where we came from, where we're going.
That's a good way to put it.
What's the plan?
Where we came from, where we're going.
Both grew up in Colorado, born and raised, spending times in the mountains. I kind of lived more in the mountains, but that's where your family went.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, mountains were our backyard, if you will. Pretty much everyone I told, like as we told people we were moving, people were so unshocked that we had picked Alaska.
Yeah.
It just...
That so fits you guys.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they weren't happy necessarily that we were going so far away, but
yeah,
I think everyone really understood that that's where we wanted to be.
We just wanted more opportunities for hunting and fishing and a place where it's easier to just live a self-sustainable lifestyle. It's just kind of hard to do where we're from.
It's
in
expensive.
Colorado.
That's a big part. It's very expensive.
To have the land to do it.
There's a lot of rules. You can't... I mean, I'm pretty sure you would go to jail for digging an outhouse hole.
I don't know that you'd go to jail.
They would put you in jail. Have you?
Jeez. But it's just a lot, you know, up here. It's just kind of the way society works up here. Half the people you meet are, you know, everybody's got a garden. Half the people have an outhouse. You know, it's just everybody gets it up here on a self-sustainable tract.
Love Colorado. Have nothing against Colorado. It's getting overgrown. It's too expensive. You can't homestead there full-time. You would still have to have a job. And a lot of people burn out that way. Moved to Alaska May of this year. About 7 months ago now. Sold our house. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch. Back up. Put it in reverse.
Sold our house, what?
July
year and a half ago?
2022.
Yeah, year and a half ago. Sold our house. Lived in the camper. Worked for another year. Saved some more money. And then we quit in April. The day we found out we were having a baby.
The same day
was my last day at work. So
that I took the positive pregnancy test. But if you've been tagging along, you know this is a fertility clinic baby, and it was very planned.
Yeah.
Granted.
Yeah. That was the goal we had in mind. It just
December, first winter in Alaska, past winter road maintenance. It's okay. All in God's time.
Yep. Just kind of highlighted our
this is insane.
But we love the adventure of it. Something new.
I will also say that raising kids somewhere different was a big motivator for Alaska. So when I got pregnant, it solidified it, in my opinion.
Reinforced the whole Alaska.
Reinforced moving.
Got up here in May. Yep. Spent the summer, we were living first in our camper on my parents' property, and now in the winter we're in their guest cabin with a wood-burning stove. Because it's a lot easier to heat than a camper.
Yeah. Colorado winter was fine in the camper. Alaska winter,
I wouldn't want to do that. And we went through a lot of propane.
Yes, it would have been expensive on fuel, and just with this available, it would have been silly to not take them up on it. And once we got here, we didn't realize how long it would take us to find property.
Yeah, we were kind of really hopeful to get up here. You know, we had
high expectations.
The cash available from selling our home in Colorado, and we were looking morning, noon, and night for a piece of property up here. We were pretty picky on where we wanted to be.
Yes. That made it
Um,
harder.
Yeah. But when we were looking nonstop, something would pop up, we'd go look at it. And just kind of holding firm on what we wanted. You know, we didn't leave our families behind and move
No.
3,000 miles away and quit our jobs and all this just to settle on some, the first piece of land to come up. So we were picky, held out for what we wanted. In the meantime, we went salmon fishing, went down on the Kenai.
We did do a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, but in doing that, we still tried to stay close by in case something came up for sale. We would be able to go look at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of beautiful things to see, but part of what we were doing was trying to learn, because like once we're residents, we'll be able to dip net. So we were like, hey, let's go. The salmon numbers were astronomical this year on the Kenai, so we went and enjoyed that.
That's a lot of poundage. But we did buy property, closed on it in September.
Yeah, 4 months in to being here.
Kept us very busy up till it started snowing.
Yes.
We were there almost every day, just trying to get everything done that we could.
Yep.
Clearing in the driveway, clearing the kind of the footprint of where the cabin's going to go. We did get an outhouse hole dug. We got the posts in.
Garden
Not
cleared.
the posts in, but we got the holes dug.
Mm-hmm. Garden cleared. All the groundwork we got done.
Yeah.
Before it froze. And Alaska was nice to us. We worked all the way through October.
We were looking at it the other day. November 4th was the last day we worked there. And then
we got lucky.
Right after that, we started getting snow like every day for a week.
Yeah. So
that kind of shut us down. And then now, being so close to the baby coming, we've just kind of been...
We've slowed down on everything.
Waiting on that. After the baby comes, then, and once we adjust to that, we might start working over there some more, clearing some more trees, burning some slash.
Yeah, there's a lot we can do in the snow. We're going to town on my due date. According to my midwives, it's a lot more common for first-time moms to be late than early, so we have an Airbnb booked for 2 weeks, starting on the due date, to give some recovery time after the birth and just give us a good window to have the baby.
Just be in town. As much as we don't want to go to town.
I don't want to, but it'll be a nice vacation still.
Yeah.
There'll be a washer, a dryer, a shower.
Looking forward to having a good shower with unlimited
we're going to
water.
shower like 3 times a day the whole time.
So, plans for the future. Should be getting the logs from the sawmill for our cabin the beginning of April. Kind of weather dependent. If we get a big blizzard or something, but should get the logs early April.
The whole thing there is to try and get them in here while the road is still frozen.
Yes.
Because when the road muds up, on this road, even our neighbors were telling us they'll put a weight limit on the road because it'll get so bad, and then they can't bring them in because they're gonna get stuck and they're not even supposed to. So we're trying to hit that pre-mud but kind of post big snows. So.
Yep, and we even saw that when we got up here this year.
Yes.
That tail end of break up and the snow melt. It was very muddy. We're buying the lumber package, and it's going to come with the windows, doors.
Yes.
That's basically it.
When we originally were talking about coming up here, we talked about cutting trees to build a cabin. Like, it was this whole, super fantasy. We're going to cut the trees, we're going to build a cabin. It was this, YOLO. But then...
Which we would still like to do someday. Maybe get a remote piece of property and...
build, a high-mo cabin.
Over time, build something. Just straight off the land. But...
especially with bringing a baby into the world and stuff, it's just not realistic. We don't have the spruce trees where we live for that anyway. Do a chicken coop out of our spruce trees.
Well, we're gonna lots of stuff off.
Yeah, I want to do little things with all the dead beetle kill spruce we have. Something we get a lot of questions on is how we found our property up here. It's really far away from the lower 48, so I think it's intimidating for people looking.
And on that note, so we'll get to how we found ours, but if it were me and you were in the lower 48 shopping for a piece of land in Alaska, do not buy anything sight unseen.
No.
Man, they can take some nice pictures and say some nice stuff about it. You could very easily get here and it's a swamp.
That is a good point.
Or the road is impassable.
There was a property that was for sale when your parents bought this property. And we were coming up to see this. They had already seen it, bought it, closed. So we did a second trip last year up here.
Yeah.
To check these cabins out with them, knowing we were moving up here too. And so there was a property for sale down the road. And I was just obsessed. It was such a good price. 5 acres, right where we wanted to be. And when we looked at that property, I sank both legs to my knees, like 3 steps off the road. Total swamp.
And you wouldn't know it looking at it.
No, the pictures were beautiful. The price was right.
Spend the money on a plane ticket and come look at it.
Yes, just do.
Because I would say probably 75% of the ones out there that are cheap for a reason. There's a reason there's not already a cabin on it. So it's kind of slim pickings to find the good ones in an ideal situation. And we bought our property is because we had kind of gotten tired of all this waiting around and nothing coming up. It was looking like we were going to be going through winter with no property of our own yet, and that was really disheartening. So we sent letters, well, I should say Becca sent letters to 45-ish
landowners in the area we wanted to be in.
Yep. Just, asking politely if they were interested in selling. Or,
just, hey, we're interested in buying. I see you own property in such and such area.
Yeah, places that didn't have cabins on them. They were just raw land.
Yes.
And we actually received
a lot of replies.
Both yes and no. I think we had roughly 10 people say that they were interested in selling. And some of those, we looked at the properties and we're just kind of like, no, that's a swamp. Or
one was the swamp.
Yeah, it was the same piece of property from the year before.
So.
Kind of went through that, and then the piece that we ended up buying, the people said they were just thinking about listing it for sale. They were going to put a driveway in and whatever. So we went and looked at it, fell in love with it pretty much right away.
Yeah.
I made an offer, they counter-offered, and we accepted it.
Yeah, it was, it could not have been more perfect and meant to be.
And then after that was already done, and we ended up, so to backtrack, we ended up using a realtor just to do all of the paperwork and paid them. I don't even think we paid them anything. I think the sellers paid them a small flat fee just to handle the paperwork. Yep. And it went smooth.
So smooth, so easy. Fast.
I think it was 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
We closed.
At a maximum it was 2. It might have been a little less.
We were able to sign everything virtually.
It was awesome.
It's a piece of cake.
Very awesome.
And then even after we were closed, we still received a few emails or calls back of people that were still interested in selling.
Yeah.
So we don't even really know what those properties were all about. Very surprised, though, by the number of people that did reach back out and say,
definitely worth the effort, for sure. Before we did the letters, though, I'll just touch on this. The way we were looking was Realtor.com, Zillow. We don't like Zillow as much. Craigslist is a decent place to look if you can go on the Craigslist map and hit the area if you're thinking Anchorage, Fairbanks, whatever.
Yep. And then there's a few other websites that are kind of more remote properties. And
how many properties have we seen for sale that there's just a chunk of plywood in the yard that says for sale?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to look around. You got to go to the gas station
and tell
read
people.
Read the flyers on the poster board. Post
Talk
office.
To friends and neighbors, say, hey, we're looking to buy. They'll call you and say, hey, I have a friend.
Yep.
It's older.
Yeah, there's a lot of transactions that happen that don't ever hit the internet. So you gotta,
Ours.
hustle and grind.
Ours never hit the internet.
You guys ready to go buy some land? Get back. Get back.
For next year, priority number 1 is gonna be building a cabin, raising a baby. We're gonna look to be have a lot more going on the garden in front.
Yes.
And hopefully the hunting. We're definitely going to be dip netting. We'll be residents by then, so
Yeah.
Next summer, you know, we're hoping to kind of be hitting that self-sustaining level on food through hunting, fishing, and gardening.
Yes, this
and quit
year.
having to go to the grocery store because it's a killer.
But for the record, it is not, if you're on the road system in Alaska, it is not triple what it is in the lower 48.
Potentially, if it all works out right, we may make another drive to Colorado at some point in the next year, just so family can meet the baby, and we kind of have some stuff that we left in Colorado that we didn't have a home we were moving into up here, so we had no need for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, you know.
And we left there, so.
Elk mounts and stuff like that. Where were we going to put it?
If time allows, through building a cabin, we might make a trip to Colorado. Problem is, bringing a baby. I mean, you're looking at like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
A week to drive down there. You want to see some people when you're there. A week to drive back. A little bit more difficult depending on the time of year.
Right.
You know, if it was just us going, we'd just sleep in the back of the truck, get some good sleeping bags,
But if it's
go in
cold,
April or something. But if it's real cold with the baby, that's kind of up in the air.
That would
what
be
we might do there.
Fun though.
Yeah.
We liked the drive. I mean, it was brutal because we had a time frame. We had to be here to pick up your sister because she flew our guns and stuff up because Canada. But otherwise, the drive was quite a bit of fun. Very gorgeous.
Yeah, I like it.
We have a whole video on the drive.
It was a good adventure.
Yes.
I'm all about a good adventure.
We actually have 2 whole videos on the drive. One is the drive itself, and the other is us talking about our experience there.
Logistics of it.
Yeah, because we felt like there wasn't a lot on YouTube that really showed what the drive was actually like, so we tried to be intentional about that. So go check those videos out.
That's the next probably 8-9 months. Next winter, definitely going to lean into hopefully doing some trapping.
Yes.
And some more wintertime exploration. Just this winter, with the baby coming, it's kind of keeping us more grounded at home.
Yep.
But next year, things will be a little better. Baby will be a year old. And if nothing else, one of us at a time will be able to go out and do some stuff.
And like, while we could do that this year, we trapped a lot in Colorado, but the trapping in Colorado versus Alaska is totally different. And I don't know about you, but I haven't had the brain power to put in the research.
Yeah. We've got a lot to learn to trap up here, so we'll just worry about that next year for the most part.
Yes. I mean, maybe we'll get bored and buy one trap and play around with it, but we want to do quite a bit of trapping. We hunted and trapped bobcats in Colorado, so we're experienced enough with hides. I like to make stuff. I'd like to really get into like some leather work and some hide work. That's a big goal of mine for next winter with the trapping, I should say.
Yeah. But
that's next winter.
That's next winter. We got a lot to do between now and then.
Another question we get asked a lot, ever since we put in the driveway especially, is if there's gold.
Yes. There.
We get asked that a lot.
Yep, there isn't. Now, we have not physically taken a pan to our driveway, but there really isn't any gold in this area.
There is obviously gold in Alaska.
Yep.
But
there's nothing in our immediate area.
At least according to neighbors who have been here like 30 or 40 years, and I believe them enough to...
Yeah. A couple hours away, you can find some gold.
Yes.
But before we came up here, we had a few things that we were kind of afraid of. I don't want to say afraid of, but
the
things we thought, if anything, was going to bug us and make us not want to live this life, or was going to be a big change for what we were used to. As number one, mosquitoes. Coming from where we were in Colorado, there just aren't bugs. And there's a lot of mosquitoes up here.
Yes.
On the whole, not a big deal. In the camper, we had a really hard time with keeping them out of the camper.
Yes.
So that's when it would drive us nuts. You can't sleep because there's a mosquito buzzing in your ear.
Yeah, there were some words
Bad memories.
thrown around.
But it's only 2 weeks, and then it got drastically better.
And to be fair, our neighbors who have been up here for ages and ages said this was the worst mosquito year they could remember. So, that's kind of good. We kind of got broken on a really bad year. Maybe next year will be better. Second thing is the daylight to darkness. Crazy town. It is December, what do we say, 7th?
Yeah, so we got about 15 days.
15, 2 weeks until we start gaining light, and we have about 5.5 hours of light right now.
Yep.
It's like a sunset for that 5 hours.
Yeah.
It does not get overhead.
All day, that sun just stays kind of right in the trees, and you got nice orange, pink clouds.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
But it's different.
It makes for good views all day long.
It's not bugging me at all.
No, that's not an issue. I think the big thing for me is just getting outside. When the sun's up,
go out.
Go outside. It's
quick
5
walk.
hours. Just go find something to do. Cut some firewood.
Go for a walk. Like, I'll take the dogs for a quick walk.
Yeah.
Find a little sunbeam that's hitting the ground. Just stand in it, you know?
Yeah.
And it...
You know, by the time February rolls around, we might be tired of it. But for now, it is a non-issue.
But it changes quickly.
Yeah,
you know, we're losing
quickly.
like 5 or 6 minutes a day. We're going to gain that.
6 to 7, I think. Yeah.
It's going to gain
quick.
just as quick as we lost it. So that doesn't last as long as people think. We're nowhere near like the polar night. We're not going to see the sun for a month. We're nowhere near that far north. And then I really liked the midnight sun in the summer. There were times, like if you don't have the right blackout curtains and stuff, there are times where it's just like, I'm not going to make it. But,
and part of that was living in the camper. Mm-hmm. The sun's up all night, so it doesn't cool down when the sun goes down. So the sun just keeps beating on that camper all night. Made it hard to sleep some nights.
You can get coffee at like 9 p.m. in the summer on the Kenai.
And it's normal.
And it's normal. They're open. They're waiting for all the fishermen to... I mean, like one of our videos where we went fishing, I think our first one on the Kenai, we didn't walk out till midnight. And it was still... I think we just started to like turn on a headlight or a headlamp at midnight, so it's fun. I like it.
So I think the third thing, which I really wasn't afraid of, but the cold.
Yes.
Is.
It's cold.
Not. Huh?
It's cold, but.
I was gonna say it's not.
Well,
cold.
I mean it's 11 degrees right now, and a lot of people would pass out at that, but.
It's not any worse than anything we've ever had in Colorado. It really doesn't bother me. Pretty much have the clothes for it, coming from Colorado. We spend a lot of time outside in the winter. Mm-hmm. And we got a couple new things, more or less for the snow machines, but...
Yes, 'cause that's a different level of wind and stuff.
We're the kind of people who would be way happier with it being 10 degrees outside than 75 degrees outside. It's too hot for me.
Colorado was getting too hot. There were like 90-degree days before we were leaving, and I can't. I'm much...
We are winter people.
Yes.
So it's a good thing we got 8 months of it up here.
Yeah. I know. I love the woods so much more in the winter. I don't, you can see better. That's something I didn't expect moving up. Is just the brush, whatever, you want to call it. It's over my head. Yeah. There are a lot of places, like hiking isn't as easy. It's thick. So now it's winter, it's all pushed down. I'm like, yes, I can see now. I think that's about it. We just really wanted to answer some questions that we get a lot of while we're waiting on the baby. Not a lot of excitement going on. So when the baby comes, we might do another Q&A. So hit us with some more questions in the comments that we may have skipped over.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do that again as we learn to be parents. And
yeah, we'll have some downtime.
Yeah.
I don't know about downtime, but we'll have some time.
Right. And
around the cabin.
The homestead building is going to be a little ways out now. Thanks so much, as always, for watching. We appreciate all of our viewers, everyone who sent a gift for the baby, for us. You guys all rock, and we'll be around.
Cut.